Kids, we talk about cryosphere, glaciers, and sea ice, but the cryosphere also includes frozen soil, which we called permafrost, and we mentioned how warming is thawing the permafrost and creating wavy roads and sinking homes, etc. We, of course, have freezing rivers. We have lakes that freeze over so much that people can drive over them or sit on them and drill a hole and do ice fishing. We have frozen seawater, which we call sea ice, but the glaciers can also flow over onto the ocean and create shelf ice. And that shelf ice is still part of the glacier, it is attached to the glacier. But remember, ocean has tides, so the ice shelves can get heaved up and down, and when it becomes too much, they can break off. But even worse, oceans are warming, as we said, so the ice shelf is nicely sitting there extending onto the ocean, but the ocean is getting warmer. So from below the ice shelf you can have melting of the ice shelves, and they can break off. And as we mentioned before, when it breaks off, the glacier that is attached to it can slide down, and you can create more fractures in glaciers. So glacier can just fall apart very rapidly with these kind of processes. Rivers, what's happening? We talked about sea ice not coming in time and polar bears suffering, starving, etc. And we also have rivers that are not freezing as much, so that affects the life cycle of the fish that depend on them, and also the water supply itself can change. If you are relying on snow melt, glacier melt, and ice melt for your runoff downstream for water use, then that will of course be seriously affected. And frozen soil thawing, permafrost thawing, we mentioned how that can release CO2 and methane that is trapped in them over long periods of time. So, the last ice age ended around 18 to 12,000 years ago, and the soil that was frozen at high latitudes has remained frozen for a long time. Now it starts unfreezing or thawing. Obviously, we'll have lots of impacts that are new, right? So these are the things we have to worry about when we talk about the cryosphere. As the warming happens, the melting of the glaciers is about, or sea ice is about when the season starts, early or late, okay?